So pretty big news. The chances of the Federal Reserve announcing a rate cut on September 17th are now over 90%. We have big banks like Standard Chartered that actually expect to see a double rate cut of 50 BPS. That's 50 basis points. For context, the last time this happened, the overall altcoin market cap jumped by 5.7%, actually surpassing the BTC market cap pump by 1.3%. So that means if, in fact, the rate cut is announced in just a couple of weeks on September 17th, we're going to see altcoins pump pretty hard. Not all alts will pump equally, of course. That's been our contention for a while. Therefore, we picked out the ones that are best suited to perform well above and beyond all the others out there. We're looking at 3 such altcoin projects in this video. Welcome to the channel. My name is Maddie and this is Altcoin Buzz. All the best of luck if you choose to invest, okay? Maybe that's into these 3 projects or another 3 projects, whatever the case may be. I genuinely wish you well. But just remember, I am not a financial or investment advisor, nor is this video official financial or investment advice. First off, and at number 1, we have to talk about Cardano and ADA in the context especially of institutional holdings, because institutions holding ADA, in terms of those numbers, that's surged by 300% year to date in 2025. So this means ADA has experienced very significant and very high quality institutional inflow. Recently, the ADA whale activity has also spiked, with some pretty large wallets accumulating over 210 million ADA in Q3 of this year, thereby increasing their stake to 10.3% of the total supply. That's pretty significant. And this accumulation, of course, signals confidence in Cardano's long-term fundamentals, which is happening for 2 very specific reasons. Number 1, the US Clarity Act has reclassified ADA as one of 3 so-called mature blockchains, and the act is going to come into play by October 2025, meaning that we're going to see more institutional inflow and whale confidence as a result. And reason number 2, with the Clarity Act on its way, it is paving the way for an ADA ETF and subsequent approvals. Once that happens, expect floodgates to retail inflow to be triggered massively, which is going to in turn lead to a massive ADA rally. By the way, if you're curious about exactly how many ADA you need to hold today in order to cash them out and be a crypto millionaire at the height of this bull cycle, check out this recent video. At number 2 here, and our next pick is Hedera, ticker HBAR, because in the latest news, the US Securities and Exchange Commission, or the SEC, has once again, surprise, surprise, delayed decisions on altcoin exchange-traded funds, or ETFs. And as per the latest filing, the regulator extended the period to approve or disapprove Canary HBAR ETFs specifically by another 60 days, setting November 8th as the new deadline now. A positive approval of the ETF is going to prove to be a major catalyst, of course, that could drive institutional inflows and pretty significantly boost HBAR's price. But there's more to it than that. HBAR's new and ongoing partnerships really are, I would say, the focal point right now, probably more important than some hypothetical, perhaps upcoming ETF. These partnerships are very significant. To begin with, the project has an ongoing collaboration with Swift. And, while this is, okay, fair enough, not a new announcement, Hedera's ongoing testing and collaboration with Swift for blockchain-based cross-border payments has remained a nicely highlighted partnership all throughout September, signaling potential future integration, of course, in terms of international payments, which is pretty much as big as it gets. And then more recently, Hedera announced that it was selected as the blockchain platform for Wyoming's Frontier stable token. That's a big deal because this is actually the first token issued by a U.S. state under the Wyoming Stable Token Act of 2023. So this partnership obviously highlights state-level adoption of Hedera's network for regulated digital assets. These are both big updates, and in both cases here, Hedera is ready to become the network of choice for both state and international digital transfers, and that should lead to a massive HBAR pump in the relatively near future. Last but not least, at number 3 on our list is SEI, a project that no one should ignore in 2025. Now, SEI pumped primarily through the first half of this year. The critical rally phase occurred specifically from March to July of 2025. After dipping to lows near about 13 cents in the spring, in March, SEI started to recover pretty well all the way up until July 2025, when it reached approximately 27 cents. That was largely driven by the anticipation of a major upgrade. We're going to come to that in a moment. SEI Network experienced a price pump primarily driven by key developments and institutional interest. The first major development occurred in mid-2025. That's when SEI surged about 50% in June, largely due to Wyoming's selection of SEI Network for its state-backed stablecoin pilot project. And then additionally, institutional confidence was underscored when Circle revealed in its June 2025 IPO that it held 6.25 million SEI tokens. That is the largest crypto holding on their balance sheet. Now, in the next leg up here, we're going to see SEI's Giga upgrade unfolding, which promises a very significant performance boost. The key upgrades here are going to include 50 times faster execution and throughput, targeting actually over 200,000 TPS or transactions per second, with a throughput metric called 5 gigagas per block. We're also told to expect sub 400 millisecond transaction finality, enabling fast confirmation times suitable for real-time and high-frequency applications. So altogether, there's a lot of promise that's upcoming, a lot of anticipation behind this date, September 17th. And these are three altcoins that are very much about to turn unstoppable to take advantage of those conditions if and when they do come about. And look, you never know with the Federal Reserve. These announcements could happen on the 17th of September or later, probably almost certainly not sooner, but it's kind of indefinite. What I think is the take-home message here is that these three projects are good ones to have in your bag for if and when that news about the rate cuts finally does get announced.